weekly youth ministry podcast with Doug Fields and friends.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Game over, man.
What's the fight with you, bud? We're all here.
I'm ready.
Hey, everybody!
There's just two of us in here.
Doug Fields with Josh Griffin,
Hey-o.
and it feels a little empty, but
does.
Josh, honestly, I was thinking about it, and I actually Twittered about it. I'm excited that Matt and Jan aren't here.
You think this could be a superior show to normal? Is that what you also Twitter?
No. I just said it'd be a good show without Matt. That was just my fun jab, but
Yes.
the last time it was you and me, it was fun.
It was a good
I
time.
enjoyed that.
It was a good time.
Matt wasn't interrupting every 30 seconds,
That's
and then Jana Squawk wasn't there.
And you said lots of wisdom. I repeated it in a kind of a fresh way, and then we moved on. So it's kind of how we roll.
That's not true. But I'm very excited because I have a mystery box right here. There was
Ooh.
others down there, but because I was running late, I just grabbed this one because it said special message from Michael W. Smith inside.
Oh, my
So I
goodness.
just feel like I should wait to open that.
This is a magical box,
This is
then.
maybe from Michael W. Smith to me.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
The
and-
treasure. You are friends forever.
Oh, you just stole it!
Did I steal it?
I was gonna say that's because friends are friends forever.
Well,
Darn it.
go west, young man.
That's right.
I can't think of any more.
So
of the
anyway,
songs.
I want to open that.
How
I want
fun.
to open that. That should be very
You have
exciting.
no idea what's inside, but it says a special
Message.
Okay.
And then a brand new
Yes.
book that just came out called Worship Band from Start to Finish. And isn't it interesting that we're having a worship conference at Saddleback Church, and this just came out?
Interesting.
The timing of that,
It
Josh,
is. It's uncanny.
makes me think that the author knew what was happening.
The
Either
author?
that or the publisher, Simply Youth Ministry. It's one of our
Yes.
self-published books that we just. It's great. He did a great job. This guy's name is Jason Carson, and he's the youth pastor right down the street.
He is a great guy.
And he's about 5 miles away. And actually, my son would go to his junior high group a lot because he went to the Christian school that this guy's church is at, and it's called Mission Hills Community Church. And Jason was famous because he was the drummer in the Supertones.
That's right. He's kind of a big deal.
It's funny because when the Supertones was really big, the Orange County Supertones, I would be out speaking somewhere, and somebody, a kid would go, "Where are you from?" "I'm from Orange County, California." "Do you know the Supertones?" I'm like, I barely even heard, guys know how much I follow Christian music.
You are right on the cutting edge of
Yes,
that.
that this worship conference is happening at Saddleback Church
Yes,
this week.
yes.
Delirious is actually playing right now.
Right now, Delirious is going.
And
We're not there.
I have not had any interest at all to.
Yeah.
Leland was there.
Leland, I went and saw Leland on Monday
Did
night,
you?
and that was enjoyable. They're great. They were great. But yeah, the rest, I'm not. Yeah.
I was playing basketball in the refinery with Cody on Monday night.
Oh, that sounds like
Because
fun.
all the kids came down afterwards and tried to get into the building.
That's cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. Youth pastor has the key.
Sorry. You just dangle it right there. So this is fun. It's another entry in our From Start to Finish series.
Yeah, this is the worship band
That's
from
cool.
start to finish, and he talks about how he does it at his church and his ministry, and then it has the CD, DVD
Yeah.
in the back, so it has all his forms. You know what he's done is, when I went through and edited it, I made it a little bit like smaller youth group stuff. I mean, he doesn't have a huge youth
Yeah.
group, but sometimes when you're so into music, like I'm not a music guy, so I was reading it as, what would I do if I don't know anything, which I don't.
Yes.
I can't clap and sing at the same time.
Read it very accurately.
And he does a great job at getting kids involved, getting them in the game. You know, Cody wasn't a drummer when he went there, and within first semester he was playing drums in a worship band.
Do you think if we had like a finance conference, would we have accounting from start to finish on the table right now?
No, we've been talking to him about this for years, and actually Taffy, who oversees all of our music guys.
Yeah.
We tried to get him to work on it for years, and
No, this has been a long time in coming.
but
so
we're
it's
excited about that, right, Nadine?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look at us pitch a product, and Andy's not
Yeah,
even here.
in the first 5 minutes, we've already pitched a product,
Okay,
a
let's
conference, a
talk
concert.
about Andy just for a second, because a lot of
Let's.
people who write in are big Andy fans, and Andy moderates the live forum right now.
So let's set the record
Do
straight.
we have a live forum going on right
Oh
now?
yeah, it's going on right now.
Okay, a lot of Andy fans, especially in the
Yeah.
live forum. Andy is now commuting to the office riding his bike.
Oh,
And did I just read a Twitter that said he is at a meeting right now. That's why he's not here. And
Exactly.
he wore his spandex into the meeting.
Oh
did.
my goodness!
Please tell me he's
did.
meeting with somebody,
Completely not important.
yeah, that I don't know.
It is not somebody that you know.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
brutal. So to save the planet, or is it just exercise, or what's his kind of angle here?
I think it's partly to save on gas, get some exercise at the same time.
Well, gas
And
is
save on
$5 a
gas.
gallon.
Andy's
Yeah,
He
he
lives
is.
like 7 miles away. And
He is. That sounds
who's
way
he
too much
meeting
like
with?
exercise.
He is meeting somebody from the Fish radio station.
somebody from the fish.
Speaking of
race.
Christian music, there you
Oh,
go.
gosh.
Delirious is there
So
in the
he's-
studio.
He's had to cancel on him a couple times, so he said, "You know what? Today I'm gonna."
What are they going to
call."
start? What are they going to work out some deal?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Andy's the
doesn't,
man.
Andy doesn't even have a clue of what
So,
the meeting is all about.
To the people in the world out there that are big Andy fans, what would you say?
I would say he's silly for wearing spandex.
Agree. You can't, especially. No, you can't. Do not do that.
Yeah. Is he wearing them
Ah.
around the office? Does he not have shorts that he comes in on?
No, he'll change as soon as he gets here, but he'll come upstairs,
Thankfully.
put his stuff down, and go back down and
Yeah.
change. So we do unfortunately have to see a little bit.
See,
of it.
unless you're chafing really bad, there's no reason you should have spandex. That is not. You don't need that. So let's open this box.
All right, why don't you go ahead as I
Really?
text my son.
I was just bored while you were texting. All right, a special message from Michael W. Smith inside. Oh, there's a little letter on
Should
top.
we have music?
Yes.
I'll read the letter. Doug, I hope this finds you well. Hey, it's not from Michael W. Smith. It's from Matt Markins at Randall House. Hope this letter finds you well. I appreciate all you do in the world of teen and young adult ministry.
my
You are
goodness.
making an amazing...
Keep reading. There was nothing in the box.
Oh my gosh, Josh, let me see
It's
that.
no.
Let me see
no.
that. Come on,
It's
what
a
do you
4
know?
gig iPod Nano. It's
oh
legit.
my gosh, let me see if it's legit.
There is one. Yeah, it's gone now. I just lost it.
What do you mean you just lost it? I saw your
It's
name.
it's addressed. Well, let's continue to read. Here we
I
go.
am working with Michael W. Smith on launching his latest initiative called C2. It's a movie and a small group study. The purpose of C2 is to help students and young adults develop critical thinking for the movies and entertainment they watch. Okay? If you will, open up the iPod Nano in this box and take a look at the videos. Don't forget to plug in the headphones, which are found at the bottom of the box. Come on! Come
Are you
on!
serious? So wait, we're doing
This
this
is the
commercial.
greatest day of my summer right
If
now.
we have to send this back, I don't
Send
see.
it back.
I don't see. We're gonna have to just dump it out.
Do you think the headphones are in here?
He said the bottom of the box.
Maybe he means this box.
Maybe it means the
The fact that he
container.
has to remind me that there's headphones says we're going to send this thing called an iPod
he
to
bought-
all these old people.
He bought.
Once you
a
select
commercial.
videos, then select movies, you will have 4 options to choose from. First, select the Michael W. Smith video at the bottom. From here, watch the videos as you wish. I would like to talk with you more about C2
Wow.
as you have the opportunity. Perhaps there are some creative ways we can work together to spread the message of C2.
I think we're spreading it.
I was going to say, like reading it on the podcast.
Let's say 1 billion listeners now, whatever we're up to. 2 billion, I just
Hey,
heard.
we're an award-winning show.
That's right. Award-winning, promoting, buying.
You know what I was
airtime.
thinking about? I was thinking about.
Can I just see this?
No,
I just want to see it.
Josh, you're the kind of guy. Look at you like free T-shirts.
Oh, and you
I like stuff like this.
free iPods?
Yeah, free iPods.
That's
this
impressive.
is awesome.
You know,
This
that's a
is-
4 gig silver iPod Nano in your hands, all for this little commercial. That's easy. I would say this.
Okay.
We'll watch your video for 1 iPod. We'll talk about a partnership or something for 2. Wow. Come on.
If you already have an
I
iPod,
just see
enjoy giving it away to some poor soul who does not already have one.
I have to.
Also, for more information, check out c2dvd.com.
You are giving this a full read. I appreciate that.
Now, was this planned, spontaneous?
it's
I was going to
sealed
read
box.
it anyway. I'm still
Sealed
waiting for the
box.
message from Michael W. Smith.
It's on the iPod.
I'm a little ticked. I got a box that says you're going to get a message
will
from
read-
my Christian music hero.
I would read
Rocket
anything
Town.
on the air for Rocket Town. Yes, I would read anything on the air for a free iPod. That is a nice gift. Almost anything. I just realized our readers might take that very literally.
Well, that is very nice. Hey, and I will watch this and we'll talk about it. We're already giving them big props right here because
Yeah,
we have
I-
2 billion listeners. So a
2.3
third-
billion, I just
third
heard.
of, a third of the planet listens
Yes.
to this show.
Look at that.
That's
I'm
called
a
a
little-
nice perk.
That is
That
a
is
nice perk.
That caught me off guard.
I will give you this T-shirt straight up for that iPod. I know it's 2XL and it's a little stretchy even at that, but
And it's got no cotton left. but
None.
It looks good. Hey, you know
None.
what? No,
Thanks.
enjoy your free T-shirts. Send Josh all those
no,
double XL free
no
T-shirts
more
you
shirts.
got.
I want free technology. Look at that. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, well, Josh, maybe one of these days. One of these days you get to the point where people send you iPods.
Someday, dog.
Okay, can I tell you, I've never got a gift
That
this
is
nice in the mail.
unbelievable.
Never got one. This
What
nice
other
in the mail.
boxes are down there? Was there another one marked
I saw
a special
one said a
message from
special gift from
Delirious?
Frankie Velasquez. No,
Jackie.
Jackie.
That would have been awesome. Oh,
Shoot, I was trying to think of
that would have been
another,
a candle in the rain right there.
another Christian singer. Who's the guy that we started early on in the podcast talking about?
Jeremy Camp.
Jeremy Camp.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm getting a DVR from him.
Yep. Satellite TV from Jackie Velasquez. Oh my goodness. Flat
All right.
screen from Delirious. I love it.
That's right.
Unbelievable. Thank you, MWS. Michael W. Smith.
Yes, that's cool. Now I'm excited to watch that.
Look at this. We could end the show
Okay,
right now
let's
and
just-
go watch the
let's
movie.
pause for just a second and think about how much dough they spent for marketing this.
Well,
They're not just sending it to me. Believe me, they're
are
sending
you
it.
serious? This is going to other people?
Of course, I'm sure. Look at. It's like
Oh, yeah,
Doug,
it's form-
insert name. It's a different font than the
Form
rest of
letter.
them.
You're
Yeah.
right. But still, this is like a $150 brochure.
Some people on the live chat were talking about it. They knew what it was before you.
How did they know what it was?
You were
Really?
saying that other people have gotten it, whether they blogged about it or Twittered about it. Like they said, Mark Matlock got one.
Yeah,
Wow, I want one.
So,
Hey, if I blog about it,
you should.
dang it, that's
Why don't you
awesome.
blog? Why don't you blog? Here's what you do.
Okay,
You
I'll
blog
take a picture of it.
about what just happened,
Yeah.
and then put Michael W. Smith's name in there, and they've
See if I
got
can
those
finagle it, yeah.
those Google
Alerts.
name
Google
alerts.
Alert, yeah. Maybe Michael W. Smith will send me a signed one, and I'll one up you. Are you out there, Michael? I'm sure over
I
2
think he's
billion
one of our
listeners.
2 billion listeners.
I'm
Yeah.
really insanely jealous.
And I love that.
I
love
really-
that. I may not ever even open it. Just put it on my
Oh
desk.
my goodness!
What do you think?
You would. You would.
I would do
that.
that. Would be a fun bit.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just praying this morning that I had to get a new iPod.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know
I
what,
couldn't
Josh?
even get
There's
that
some
out.
things you need to learn that the Lord doesn't answer all your prayers.
Oh,
Hey, without McGill, this is the best show
this is
ever.
really a good show. All right, back.
Hey,
to,
this is from
Mary.
Kevin Batson. He says, "Hey everyone, hope you haven't stopped doing the podcast. Although I could imagine that your whole ministry thing is keeping you busy. When was the
Yes.
last time? This is episode 82. When was the last time we did one?
I'm bad. Haven't been here in several weeks now.
Well, we've had a rough June.
It has.
We
been
have been a
rough.
very rough June. We opened our new building at Saddleback
We could do a
Church.
whole show on that. That's a neat.
You know what I'm
day.
so excited about is that in a couple weeks when we have our student leadership conference,
Mm.
it's going to be in the building.
That's cool.
And I'm so excited to have some visiting friends there.
Yep.
I just came from a lunch meeting with Jana,
Cool.
who is not officially off for maternity leave. She
Mhm.
would have joined us, but she had a doctor's appointment at 3.
Mr.
But we were talking through the schedule of it, and it's going to be great. I'm so looking forward to it.
And to have it in the refinery.
In the
is
refinery
just
is
so
awesome.
cool.
But I did actually talk to her about having you on a blog about it for any of our
Oh, yeah,
within
yeah.
driving distance
Cool.
folks.
Get it-
Because
get
now that we're
involved
going to have it
still.
in the refinery, we have extra space.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
if you don't have plans for summer, grab a few kids. And it is July, what day does it start? It's Tuesday, July 15th.
15. It's gonna be
15th,
super.
and it goes till Friday. And Francis Chan is speaking at it. Bethany Hamilton, the
That's
surfer
cool.
girl that got shark bitten.
Shark bitten. Yeah.
Yeah.
Intense. That'll be great.
Yeah.
You're speaking at it.
Oh, well, me and Michael W. Smith, I'm going to call him live from
What-
stage. I'm thinking about sending him a CD of my talk.
No.
No?
No.
No.
Oh, you could send him a high definition DVD
Yeah.
player because they're cheap now because they don't work anymore.
High definition DVD player doesn't work anymore? Why?
No, because Blu-ray won the format war.
Yeah.
So you can get a high definition DVD player for like $20 now.
No.
Yeah, you could
Seriously?
send that to him if you want. Yeah.
Wow.
As a little thank you for his iPod. Now here you go. Do you think Michael W. Smith has any idea that is here today for you?
Oh,
Not a
no.
chance,
I mean, he probably has an idea because my guess is he probably fronted the money
Right.
to market it. I'm guessing. I don't know, but he has no idea who Doug Fields is.
Yeah.
So.
But you know who he is. So
Hey,
who's?
friends are friends forever, whether they know about you or not.
Oh, I got to think of another song title.
So
here.
we haven't been able to do the podcast in a while
It's been too
because
long.
I think it's
Sorry.
probably been 3 weeks because schedules have been crazy. School for us just got out last week. We're trying to gear up for our summer.
Yes.
We have just not been able to get everybody on the same page. It
And
seems like
really-
we had a funeral
Yeah.
1 week. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Matt has
the
a
grand
budget meeting
opening.
today,
Matt's-
which I just love the fact that Matt's in this 6-hour budget meeting.
He got big time so fast. I
Matt's
mean,
the future of the church.
He is the yes.
Yeah. No.
So sorry, Matt. Sorry you're stuck in a budget meeting. Hopefully you're watching live somewhere in some.
Well,
dark
you know what?
room
Isn't
somewhere.
today or this month or this week your 6-month
It is.
anniversary
It
at
is,
Saddleback
yes.
of taking over the high school ministry?
6 months in the high school ministry at Saddleback, and the day to day as the high school pastor. Yeah.
Well, it kind of wasn't an
Did
interim
you,
for
did
a
you
while.
Get me a gift?
Well, it's funny you say that. This worship band from start to finish, it's all yours. And,
Thank you.
I'd like you to take that.
Thank you for this demo copy. Notice I'm not actually going to give it away. I'm going to put it on eBay
Yeah.
and sell it.
Hey, what have you learned?
Well, there's a ton of things. I was interim for the first couple months, and then kind of full time permanent the last few. It's been really a really great run. I learned a couple things about taking over a team because I came in with the volunteers and staff that had been kind of brought under former leadership. So it's been interesting meeting them and getting to know them and listening to them and watching them work. For sure, the biggest thing that's been cemented to me is that my role is to minister to adults, not to students. I mean, ultimately, I'm the pastor to students. I get that, but for sure, over and over again,
Yeah.
and I'm beating this drum too to our team, is that I am a minister to volunteers who minister to students.
Yeah.
So just interesting to see that.
And
come
that's
up
a
over and
different
over again.
switch, even though you've heard me talk about it for years.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you came from Michigan,
Absolutely.
you were the man. I know you had volunteers and stuff,
Totally.
but you were still the...
Still kind of the lead, the point guy, and I think at some point that you run out of bandwidth to do that, and
Yeah.
the ministry becomes larger than you. It becomes about adult volunteers, and so it's fun to be in an environment where I get to pour into adults all day long and care for them, and then they pour into students. So,
Yeah.
in fact, we made some a really significant change this fall. We're changing our small groups. We have met in homes for a while, and we're going to meet in our refinery building for the first 10 weeks of the year. And part of that is I want to pour into my volunteers for 10 weeks, vision, leadership training, encouragement. I want to eat with them. I want to laugh with them. Because kind of what happened was our leaders have been kind of out there doing good ministry, but they haven't really, we just haven't built a good team.
Yeah.
So in fact, I haven't even met a couple of our volunteers, and that's preposterous.
Yeah.
So one of the changes we're going to do in the fall is we're going to rally together for 10 weeks in our student building, and then after we kind of get on the same page, head the same direction, we're going to set them free.
Yeah.
So really excited about that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and pretty much everything you said is transferable to anybody, and no matter what size.
Absolutely.
Except for maybe the fact that you haven't met some of your volunteers yet.
Yeah.
So I would say that
Yeah.
in most size churches, within 6 months, you would have met all of your volunteers.
Absolutely.
But part of the problem for us is that because we do small groups in homes, so many of our volunteers are just in the homes
Well,
during
yeah.
the week, and you're the main guy in the weekend.
Absolutely,
So
and
it's made it a
multiple
little more
services, make it challenging to see the same volunteers, and they go,
Yeah.
it is a little bit challenging.
I was talking to a guy that came over to our house to help with our pool.
Yeah.
He used to be a volunteer. His kids graduated last year, so he decided this year not to ante up
Yeah.
again. But
Yeah.
he heard wind of a rumor that we're going to meet in the building for the first part of the school year, and he
Yeah.
was very excited about that because he's got 2 boys.
Cool.
And they're different grades, and he wasn't their small group leader. And he said, when I was a small group leader before, I'd shoot off to a house. They'd go to the house. My wife, so his wife's now going to get involved. So they're all 4
Oh,
going to
neat.
go to the building together
Neat.
for the first 10 weeks, and then they'll be
love
ready
that.
to spread out. But he says, yeah. And I was talking to him about you, and he goes, yeah, I still haven't met him yet. But he's a dad now. He's a
Oh,
parent,
I
and he's
know.
not a volunteer. So
I
give
know.
that. But we gotta figure out ways to get you in front of.
Yeah, well, we're excited. Tonight, actually, we're doing what I'm hoping is an annual event. We're doing a parent orientation, especially it's kind of designed for freshman parents.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I haven't had great success with a lot of parent stuff before, and so I'm excited to try to crack this one and and go after the parents and get to know them and
Well,
share
especially if it's freshman parents, because they're
Absolutely.
very eager about what's going on. It's new to them.
Yeah, there's a ton of anticipation because they've enjoyed the junior high program, and
Yeah.
this is one of those handoffs where they're going to a new program for 4 years, and so I'm going to get to meet them and hang out.
So what's your agenda for tonight?
It's not very complicated. We're actually going to do a little bit of a tour where actually you're going to introduce me, by the way.
Yes, I am. Very excited.
So you'll introduce me. I'll say a few words up front about the vision, the heart of what we're going after, the purposes for our ministry, and then I'm actually going to divide everybody up into tour groups. And you're going to go. Group 1 is going to go learn about small groups for 8 minutes, and then Group 2 is going to go learn about volunteers for 8 minutes, and Group 3 is going to go learn about whatever habits or something, and then they'll rotate every 8 minutes and hit all these different stations.
That's great.
I did it for a couple reasons. One, I want to break up the talking head guy up front for
great.
an hour. And I want some of our adult volunteers and our staff to be visible and seen and known, and their heart to kind of show up as well. And then, I think it's just, we have a fun little gimmick at the end. If you go to each of the 6 stations, you actually have a little punch card, and when you go to all 6, you get half off an upcoming retreat. So it's like $25 off of a $50 retreat or something.
Wow, that's great.
So, yeah.
I was going to say half off, but the retreats are sold out.
Exactly, and we're going to have
Yes.
to charge everyone else
Yeah.
a little more to make
Sorry
up for
to miss that. But we do believe friends are friends forever.
They are.
Yes.
So I'm excited because parents, we tried newsletters and I've tried parent meetings in the past, but we're hoping that it's one really, really big orientation that really draws all parents, but specifically we're going after people who really haven't been exposed to our ministry yet, freshman parents.
That's great.
So,
Are you nervous
It's
at all?
fun. I really am.
Yeah.
I really, really am.
And what
Yeah.
are you nervous about?
Well, it's a first impression for a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
So
You gonna change that shirt?
yeah, I think so. Probably
Okay.
gonna wear pants actually.
Really? There you
yeah.
go.
Feeling a little pressure there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Those nude parent meetings don't go well. Those
No.
bottomless.
No, yeah, whatever you're not
Maybe
wearing
that's why you
pants.
haven't had success in the past. People were a little
He's
grossed
doing
out.
what? Ah, yeah. No, I'm excited about it, but definitely nervous, just as first impressions, and to be honest, this is a time when parents who are having trouble with their students, this is when they come in and they kind of are like, my student's not connecting, and so usually some challenging moments will arise tonight where we get some great opportunities to minister and to serve,
Yeah.
but challenging.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm excited to introduce you new to these parents as well. So, anything that you struggling with, you want to talk about? I told you that you printed out all these emails. We haven't been at for a while, but we called each other Josh and I called each other coming from
Yeah.
came from the student leadership meeting. You came from the church office, and we said, let's just talk about some of the things you've been going through. But I did separate some of the
That's great.
questions. So, you want to dive into some questions, or
Yeah,
you want to?
you wanted to throw one question in while I think about what's next?
Yeah. Well, here a couple people wrote this. This is John from Killymuris Presbyterian Church in Northern Ireland.
Cool.
He says, I'm currently on episode 26, and I had actually read 2 emails.
And we're
On this.
82 today.
Well, he's from Ireland, so he's a little
Oh,
behind.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
It
English,
takes-
second language.
It takes a little longer to get over there. I started watching in late April this year. I don't know how I'll cope when I do catch up and have to wait a whole week between episodes. That's nice.
Well, that is nice.
But here's the question people have. Nadeem, maybe you could answer this.
Yeah.
Where is episode 28 and the tour of Simply Youth Ministry and Andy the shipping guy?
Great question.
And another guy wrote in. I
Uh-huh.
didn't put it in this one. Oh, here we go. Here, maybe I
Ooh,
did.
there it is. Wow.
When I reached, this is from Taylor Austin. But to my dismay, when I reached episode 28, I sadly found that it wasn't
Oh.
available.
Oh.
And neither is the tour of SYM, which is right after it. iTunes could not find it, and neither could FeedBurner.
Oh boy.
Now, this is only the case for the video podcast. The audio works just fine.
Interesting.
But who wants to miss out on the beauty and charm of Matt McGill? Is there any way to fix this? I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I'm getting some.
Huh? Yeah. Chris Davis, our guru, hero,
Audio engineer,
audio,
video engineer.
video, web, everything related to
Interwebs,
everything.
internets.
We'll look into it. All right. Did you breathe because you want to talk? Or you
Yeah,
want me
but
to read a
I'll let
question?
you go.
No,
if you're on a
go.
roll.
Exhale.
I was just thinking.
Exhale.
I'm interested to know what people out there are doing as far as communicating with their students, like a response card. We've used a response card. We've kind of actually hidden behind it recently. The first 6 months, I'm kind of watching what we do. We have this little tear-off flap in the bulletin, and you can tear that off, drop it in a mailbox, or leave it around. We'll pick them
Yeah,
up.
not like a home mailbox.
Yeah, like a U.S. Postal
Yeah,
Service.
we have one
mailbox
outside
that
of our-
We ripped it off from somewhere. I don't know where we got that from.
My brother-in-law
Really?
is a mailman, has been for like 25 years.
So he ripped it off.
Well, I don't think he ripped it off. I think it was damaged, and he said, "Can I have it?" And they
It's
said yes.
definitely damaged now.
Yeah, and we had been having it in the youth room for years.
It's
And it's
cool.
just for people to put their offering in.
offering, response cards.
Yeah, you said put it in the mailbox. I didn't want youth
Yeah,
workers
get
to
it.
think.
Yeah, postage paid.
Yeah.
So we rip off part of the bulletin, drop it in this box.
Which,
in
by the
back
way,
room.
can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
I fed you a great line this weekend,
Oh.
and you killed it. I mean, killed it in a bad way. Not in
Oh,
a
what
good way.
happened?
The urinal line with people not sitting together.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And you said something like because you guys, what had happened was,
A little setup here.
well, in our new auditorium, people were coming in and they would leave spots in between them, and we needed everybody to scoot in. So I told Josh, I said, it's kind of like a guy's urinal. You don't want to. And he says,
You want to leave a little space.
yeah, he says, hey, it's kind of like, you guys, everybody needs to scoot in. It's kind of like a guy's urinal. And he leaves it there. He doesn't say, because Megan Hutchinson was standing next to me.
Oh,
She
my
goes, I don't
goodness.
get that. What do you mean? It's like, and I had to explain.
Oh,
well,
my
guys don't
goodness.
stand next to each other. If there's a bunch
Well,
of open urinals, they will not stand
I
next to each
was
other.
a little nervous that night. 'Cause that's super.
It was
funny, though.
awesome.
Wow.
It was very fun to have kids in the building.
That
for
was neat.
months and months and
First
months.
time.
We've had construction workers and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, the looks on their faces.
Nadeem,
as
have you
they're-
been over to see it?
I have.
Yeah, did you get a little tour?
I did, not when it was completely done.
Yeah.
There was still probably a couple days before
Yeah.
you guys went in. And
Oh, there's
interviewed
still
and-
a couple days to go, but
Yeah. No, it looked great.
well, you should check it out. It's awesome. Well, what I
Okay,
was
so
going
go
to say
ahead.
was, so anyhow, sorry about blowing.
No,
your
that's
ear.
right. I don't even know why. Did you say urinal and made me think?
I must have.
Oh, okay.
Ah. So anyhow, we have this little response card that you can tear
Mm-hmm.
off, and we're reconsidering a few ideas with that. The problem is we haven't been really good with the information that students have given us on that card, and the percentage of people that use it. A couple come in every weekend, and that's about it.
Ah.
So if it's used really intentionally in the message, then we get a great response. But if it's not used very intentionally, we don't get a very good response at all. But we kind of hide behind that, saying, hey, at least we have a response card. A first-time visitor can fill that out, so on and so forth. So this past week, we tried a new design without a bulletin tear-off, and we now have a phone number that students can text anything they want to at any time, and the answer will come back to them. It's actually not totally set up yet, so don't try it if you're listening. But soon, if you text to 949...
Don't.
If you text to this number that we've chosen,
Yeah, you don't wanna
that's
get
clever. Someone on the other end will text back to you what you need. So
It's like cha-cha.
it's like Cha-Cha or Google Text or all that stuff.
You guys know
Yeah.
what cha-cha is?
Mhm.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It is impressive.
Little guru right there.
Oh, I'm so tech savvy.
Hand me that iPod. I'll show you what. No, you'll never get
I
it back.
texted because I'm working on my final edits of my
Yeah.
book Refuel, and I have a Tupperware joke in there. And so I texted Cha-Cha. I didn't want to go look for it. I was actually driving somewhere, and I texted Cha-Cha and said something to the fact that when did Cha-Cha when did Tupperware lose its popularity? Like what
Ooh,
year?
yeah.
Because I'm going, if I give a Tupperware illustration, will
Yeah.
people over 30 get it, under 30?
Yeah.
So Cha-Cha texts back, Tupperware is still popular. It just targets different markets now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I
Leave that in your book right there. Cha-cha.
Cha-Cha. Anyway,
So anyhow,
that's how Cha-Cha works.
so
You
the
just
idea-
text a question.
so you could text anything you want and the answer comes back. Well, the idea is that we do that with our high school ministry. People type in the number or save in their phone book, and any question, when do I pick up my kids from Freshman Frenzy? Bam, the answer comes back. I want to get baptized. Bam, the information comes back. So instead of using a response card, we use a text number that's kind of our information hotline as well, but we can also use it to capture first-time guests and information and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a new idea that we're experimenting with.
So how would the average youth worker's got 4 volunteers in his
Right.
or her youth ministry? They would just take turns
I don't
answering
think so.
questions
Yeah.
if they tried that?
You just
Say,
have like
"Hey,
a
you're in-
church phone or
you're
a
in-
church number.
You're in
or-
charge of Mondays and Tuesdays, and I'll take Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Absolutely. Or you take this
Or the
week.
youth pastor just has it and does
A
them all.
youth pastor, if they happen to have a great volunteer assistant or an assistant on staff, secretary, whatever, yeah, they could manage that. Just the idea of always having access to the information regarding high school ministry.
Yeah,
You can text anything to it, and we will give you the answer to it as it relates to high school ministry.
yeah.
And it eliminates, well, it kind of eliminates this response card. I mean, I think we'll still have some cards people could fill out and keep the mailbox, which is fun. But when we're doing an application of a sermon and we say, hey, how many of you want to be baptized? We'll put that number up on the screen and let students.
Okay, so let's say my son texts and says, I want to be baptized next weekend, which we got a bunch of texts this
yeah,
weekend.
we actually tried it this week. Yeah.
And a bunch of kids said, I want to be baptized.
Yeah.
Now, how do we get the information to them?
Well, ideally, someone on the other end texts them the information. Be there at 6:30, and yada yada yada. Then they would take that person's name and number and send it to the appropriate person. So,
How would they get that person's name and number?
good question.
So
we
it-
still have some bugs to be worked out. No, I mean, you'd send your name to that number, and it would say, okay, Andy Brazelton wants to get baptized on Sunday.
It's about time.
So we have his number, and
Yeah.
now we have his name. Pass it on to the volunteer who's in charge of baptism.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
There you
but
go.
see the texting thing. It's interesting.
Yeah.
We're what, 1 week into testing?
1 week into it, and I think we still have a couple good weeks to make sure we really believe in it. But and now there's a web interface that you can plug the phone into your computer, and you can type responses rather than have to T9 or finger thumb type it in.
Yeah.
And you can copy and paste it. So let's say someone writes in and like, Doug, when does Fresh Frenzy get over? I could have a little copy paste, drop it in, and it says, hey, thanks for your text. Fresh Frenzy gets over at 7 p.m. in the main parking lot.
Yeah.
Whatever. So just trying to move things forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody has their phone on them all the time. You don't always have your computer. You don't always have access to everything else.
Yeah.
And the phone is going away, so texting's the way to go.
The phone is going away,
You
but
heard it
everybody
here
has their
first.
phone on them.
Well, but they don't use it as a phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyhow,
Oh,
just
that's
something
interesting. That's
trying.
great. I heard yesterday from somebody, I can't remember if it was one of my kids or a bunch of kids that were in my house, that emails for old people.
Yeah, it is.
That's great. Gosh, I
Emails
can't
for
wait.
old people already.
Here's the one of the things that's happening now though, is people are texting me like they used to email me.
Oh,
And I'm just not. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Because at email, I could at least answer on my own, at my time.
But texting
now if somebody texts me and
Yeah.
it's a question related to a calendar event or something like that, if I can't one word back yes or no, and now I have to sync it with my calendar, I just let it go into my
right.
my texting archive because I can't.
You have
Texting is like, for me, it's information. Give me information. It's not ask me. If you want to ask me questions, things like
Right.
that, send me an email.
If you want to have a conversation, call me. If you want, all right.
Yeah.
There's different.
Have you found that with texting? Do you find that people are trying to engage you more with
Absolutely.
texting?
Absolutely. But I'm kind of embracing it going out. If email's dead, they still have to communicate with you. What's the way?
Yeah, but how do you? So you have to go through each of your texts and go, who haven't I not answered?
I actually use the mark as unread. So if I see one, I'm like, ooh, I've got to follow up on that. I make it look like I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
And then I can just scroll down later and like which one's bold.
Oh.
So if I get one from you that's like, don't forget about this, you're a knucklehead, I'll be like, oh, okay, I won't read that one. So, no, I mean, I'll read it, but then I'll mark it as
Yeah,
if I did.
that's interesting. Well, it'd be great to know from the people, the 2.2 billion people that, it just went up to 2.3, that listen, what their deal is. What are they doing in terms
Yeah.
of both texting and communication, email?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm interested in like response cards or bulletin flaps or how
Well,
do you.
we have actually something coming out in Simply Youth Ministry. Am I allowed to talk about it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, here we go.
Am I?
Yeah.
Really? Andy,
Can we
won't-
give out the
It's coming
URL?
soon.
Yeah. We have partnered with a texting company.
This is super cool.
And because youth workers are going to now be able to, I know it was my idea. I'm just not sure how it works now. Because here's what I said to Andy when we started texting
Yeah.
at Saddleback. I thought not everybody, that's always been my deal. People don't have those resources. What can we take
Right.
of that and make it available to everybody?
Yep.
So Andy did the hunting around and found out the guy, and so now we're going to be able to do that through Simply Youth Ministry.
It's a cool feature. So you'll be able to type in your students' names
And phone numbers.
cell phone ad in them,
And be able to
shoot 'em
text
out.
them all at one time
Yeah.
through a
Or
little program.
individuals, and if you want to buy an unlimited pack, you could unlimited text as many people, individuals to huge groups. You could buy little reduced packages depending on, whatever.
Yeah. When are we going to have that available, Nadine?
If I'm not mistaken, we're supposed to see a test of it in the next couple of weeks.
A test in the next couple
I
of
heard
weeks?
August 1st
Yeah.
it'd be
I
live.
think that's the plan.
August 1 is live. Wow. That's fun.
That's cool. That
You know-
happens so fast. But I will tell you this: texting our students is the only way.
Yeah.
Email is dead. To our students, email is dead. If you're not texting
to their
them-
parents, different thing.
Exactly. Well, we were actually working on a little brochure card thing for tonight's parent meeting, and I almost didn't even put the website on there because really, I mean, it can be on there, and I almost didn't worry about putting the text on there. I put the phone number on there because they're gonna phone or email.
Yeah.
They're not gonna text. They're probably not gonna go to the blog. I'll put them on there, but
Yeah.
knowing full well the phone number that's a little bit bigger font's the one they're gonna go for.
Yeah. Well, our parent audience is going to email.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You have to figure out how to communicate with your students, and then how do you communicate with your parents? They're definitely not the same.
Yeah. But the great thing now is that email to parents, kids aren't going to read it anymore.
That's true. That is true.
Well, there is an interesting element here. I was with Jim Burns. I did his radio show a couple weeks ago, and
cool.
he was saying that the phone now,
Yeah.
in like, I forget his stat, but like in the year 2000 or something like that, is going to be, you'll be able to access 90% of porn will be on the phone.
On your phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so how you've taken all these measures to protect kids
Right.
from their
Yeah,
computers.
the internet
Now you
pornography,
gotta
and now
figure
it's-
that out via phone.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And now you bought them a phone, you put it in their pockets with them all the time.
Yeah.
It has an element of secrecy to it because you have messaging and all
Yeah.
that. That's very interesting. That's going to be tricky.
Well, so tonight at the parents' meeting, are you getting their email addresses?
Wow. Yes. Let me write that down. Email
yeah.
addresses.
All right.
Fun.
Let's go after one here.
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, we're at 36 minutes. I said to you, what do you want to do? And you said 43.
43.
Yeah. There was a Mike McGarry. He says, hey, what happened at minute 40:46 in last week's episode?
Oh.
I smell an edit.
Okay.
Did we edit anything,
You
Chris?
and Matt are doing the show.
Doug finished reading someone talking about how you're all fake friends. Like what they're saying is you guys have become my friends as a youth worker.
Ah.
And then it sounded like he was going to the next question. Mine, Mike is saying. Doug totally started to say my name, Mike McGarry, or someone else who wrote in a question whose name starts off with Mike Mc. And then the sound cuts out, and Doug is rambling on about fake friends. Is my question not worthy of you? It's not my fault. Doug was a slacker and didn't prep the show. So was there an edit or what? Keep up the great
No.
work. I love listening to the show. I've got to admit I miss Andy a lot. How can you miss Andy a lot?
Wow.
From what? From what?
From 0 to, yeah, what?
I don't know. He's never been on the show. Well, he's been on the show. Mike, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Chris says we didn't edit.
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Our producer, Chris Davis, just informed me from the sound booth that if Matt would have had a loud outburst, a squawk or something like that,
Yes.
we would edit it down. But my guess is I was probably ready to read the next question, and then my mind went to, wait, we're not
Yeah.
done with that,
Wow.
and then I
Yeah.
did one of those. And
like
did one of
this, your question was gone. Or you were unworthy. One or the other.
those. Yeah.
Unworthy is great.
Here's
Wow.
one from Andrew. This is a pithy comment. He says, my wife and I were on a road trip for one of her business trips, and I happened to have my iPod along and have some older podcast episodes that I never listened to, so I played them in the car while my wife slept. My wife is a light sleeper and would wake up occasionally dazed at what I was listening to. Her comments made me laugh every time. What are you listening to? This doesn't sound like anything. It's like, how are you staying awake? This sounds so boring. Is this still on? You thought that was funny? When she was fully awake, within 10 minutes, she was glued to the idle commentary. It helped that a marriage question came up. I have to admit,
yeah.
I had the same reaction when I first began listening. Love you guys. Thanks.
Oh, well, thanks, I think.
So same reaction.
Yeah.
as,
I
hey,
thought you were lame at first, too, but then I fell in love.
Yeah, well, people want. It takes them a while to realize this is an
It's
award-winning
award-winning
podcast.
with billions of listeners.
You know what I would like some of our faithful listeners to do, Nadim?
What's that?
I'm thinking like those that have been faithful. They've listened. We haven't run them off
From the beginning.
They look forward to it.
Yep.
They enjoy our fake friendship.
Yes.
We enjoy talking to them. When I say fake friendship, that's the quote
Yes.
people have said.
I think
You
it's
guys are
funny.
my friends. I call you my fake friends. You can call us your friends anytime. I think some of our loyal listeners ought to give us make up some podcast awards for us.
I agree. So we could be further award winning.
Well, we have one in a magazine.
Oh, I like
But
it.
what if they got one where they gave it in a church newspaper or newsletter or something
church
like
newsletter
that?
would be awesome.
You know, like we want to award the Simply Youth Ministry podcast. You
the
know,
Until He Comes newsletter.
that's right.
The
Don't you think that
Lord
would be some good? So
returns.
we could have multiple awards instead of just one.
I love it. I love it. So if you're out there and you've got a church monthly newsletter,
Anything,
if you
a
could sneak
denominational,
if you could sneak it in the annual reports of your church,
anything, just so we could have another award.
a denominational
We'll
award
hang it.
would be great.
We need to start hanging our
We
awards.
should. Certificates
Our
also
award.
accepted.
Notice
Trophies.
notice how I said awards. We only have one.
we have one, and it's really
No,
yeah.
it was top. It wasn't a theology.
top religion something.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, it
remember.
was theology.
It would be nice to get at least
We
one
should
more
frame
award.
that.
So if somebody could do that.
Great.
Quick description: youth pastor for 1 year. This is from Nick Barrett from Ringgold, Georgia, right next to
All right.
Silver Band.
Lord of the Ringgold.
Youth pastor for 1 year, small church, 10 to 15 youth, and discouraged on how my first year has went. Ooh, Josh can relate.
I was going to say, welcome to the club, buddy. You're in.
How can I attempt to get my parents or even others in the church to get involved with the youth ministry? I struggle with getting people to volunteer their time to help with activities, and some I've had to cancel because I did not have a female chaperone set up. I've heard you talk about student leadership programs and developing them. What book has this information in it? Well, a couple of different questions. You're saying student leadership programs and developing them. That would be in purpose-driven youth ministry or help. I'm a student leader. But the other question about volunteers, I struggle with getting other people involved. You know what? Everybody wants to be invited to something. Now, one of the reasons that we have a hard time getting volunteers is because we recruit them to ambiguity.
Right.
So we say we need your help, and then when they show up, we don't really know what to do with them. Like just this last couple of
Right.
weeks, we were trying to get our building open, and I went in front of the church and said, "Hey, we need people to show up from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. We need about 20 people every
Yeah.
2 hours." And I told the construction person that was overseeing this project, I said, "I'll get you people.
Just make sure they have something to
They
do.
better have something to do."
Yeah.
And sure enough, we were not ready for them, and people wound up going home and ticked, and then word got out and
Right. By the end of the last day, no one's there to
You know
help.
what? When I show up to help out in my kids' classroom, when they were
Right.
in elementary school, those little teachers were not little teachers. They were little chairs. They were normal
Little
sized
chairs,
teachers.
normal sized teachers.
Yeah.
Even some of them rather large.
But they would say, here, Mr. Fields, here's scissors, here's a box of glue. I need these things cut out and
Right.
glued on top of one another. And I'm like, I am your man for that.
Best scissorer
But it was
around.
it was very clear. It was concise. I knew, I could find success with that. But if they would have said, "Oh, just come and stand in the classroom and get involved,"
Yep.
well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Get involved. So I think as youth workers, nothing becomes dynamic until it becomes specific. And so, start with one or two, but have very clear job descriptions of what you want them to do. Don't recruit them to ambiguity.
I would also say this to Nick. I would say your first year is really, really tough.
Yes.
And we don't know what the actual tenure is for the average youth worker, but we know it's not super long. And so hang in there for the first, for the next year, and hang in there.
Yeah.
Keep doing a good job. You're probably making a difference. You might not feel like it. I mean, I very, very clearly remember starting out in youth ministry. You even wrote the book, First 2 Years in Youth Ministry, knowing how challenging that first year is. So hang in there. You're probably doing a great job, and keep up the good work.
But you know what? Sometimes year two is frustrating. This week I've been trying to, our budget's due, and I've been going through some HR hell and trying to get things going.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
going, I've been at this church 16 years, 25 total, and I'm ready to quit
And
when it
still
comes to
feeling it.
budget time.
sometimes,
Yeah, I hate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, ministry has seasons, and enjoy
Yeah.
that when the good seasons come, pause to praise the Lord for that. Thank Him for His presence, and I mean His presence is there when
Even when you don't feel like it is.
you don't
it's
feel like
still
it, you
there,
have
yeah.
a tough time. But you're right, it is definitely seasonal. Okay, Josh, we
Yeah.
said you got parents' night going
Yes.
on. We got a lot of things to do. You
Yep.
got to prep a talk for the weekend.
Finishing the talk for a new series.
I
we're
pretty
starting.
much got nothing to do.
Great.
Nothing to do. You got a lot of work to do. McGill's at a budget meeting. Jana's lactating.
Do you want to just carry
I've
the show
got-
and I'll go?
No, I'm pretty much done. I've got to prep something. I'm sure. I've got
You
to
gotta
prep
finish
my.
your book. What
I
are you
gotta
talking
I got to
about?
prep my introduction of you.
And you have to also finish your little iPod, Michael
Yeah,
W.
I
Smith.
need to
you got
figure out how
a
to
little
work
time with
this.
your buddy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
friends are friends forever.
Friends
Next
forever.com.
week,
Yeah.
we're going to be on, right?
We have another show
even if it's just
scheduled.
you and me,
Let's do it.
and then you and I. If Kathy can't do it, we'll do the marriage show.
We'll do the marriage show
Kathy
too.
can do it last week because it was the last day of school and she had to go be a room mom or
Oh,
something like that.
that's
And I said,
nice.
come on, like your kids would care. But she thought that was important. So
Well, you and I could do a show as well next week on marriage.
were you going to say something?
I was going to say something about California and legalizing, but I
gay
decided,
marriage.
yeah,
I got a little
I decided to back away.
little
from
close
that
to
one.
home to you.
I'm still a little sensitive. My aunt and everything, That's a joke. I
Don't even have an aunt.
don't even have one.
You should not make jokes like that.
No.
This is an award-winning show.
Oh,
All right.
multiple awards.
All
soon
right,
in
Michael
your
W.
church
Smith,
newsletter.
thank you.
Thanks for the
And,
iPod. Thanks
actually,
for-
thank you, Matt Markins from Randall House and
C2.
C2DVD.com.
I will blog about you soon, and hopefully,
You know what he
get
said?
an
He
iPod.
said to give him a. He says, "Give me a call or an email."
Should I email him and say, "Give me an iPod"?
No, you know what we should do? I'll email him and say, "Thank you for the iPod. Listen to the show." There's this guy named Josh who has maybe the greatest not podcast. What do we blog?
Maybe the greatest
Yeah,
blog.
morethandodgeball.com.
Yes.
And go on and look at that, and just think of the attraction that you could get.
Think of the power with my 2.2 billion
But
viewers.
I'm thinking, don't send him a box that says Michael W. Smith. There's a message inside if it's not really.
Oh, it's
'Cause
funny.
that box got me excited.
Well, I think it's on the video. Maybe
I'm
it'll.
sure it
What
is.
if it said, you plug it in and it said, "Hi Doug, this is Michael W. Smith."
if it does, I'll give this to you.
Bingo. Come on,
Okay.
C2. Are we out of here?
DVD.com.
DVD, is that what it is?
I
C2?
don't know.
Nah, I
Hey,
don't either.
let's pray for Matt, everybody, as he's going through really, really difficult times in budget.
that you're not in.
I love it.
Unbelievable.
I love it. I used to go to those, and now I'm too old, Josh. I
You
don't
could
go to budget meetings.
You could
anymore.
perfect your texting while you're in there, though.
I texted him the other day. He was like in a 6-hour budget meeting. I said, "Hey, how's hell?"
Love it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well-
all right.
Pray for Matt. Jan will be back soon.
Yeah, Jana is.
We'll tell you how
being
the parent
a very
night
good
went.
mom and parent night, and send your questions.
Yeah.
Podcast at simplyyouthministry.com. Oh.
Show
forgot
number
to say,
82.
The worship book, Nadeem, just for podcast people, is
Oh,
10% off
Oh, very cool.
through July 21st, and
I
you
don't
just
know
need to
where to do
enter in. What's the code?
Worship band.
Worship band.
Yep.
Worship Band is the promo code.
That's so creative.
I
It
know.
is. Is it on sale too or no?
It's not on.
It's 10%
new,
off.
So it's 10% only for podcast
Only for
listeners.
podcast people. Enter worship band in the promo code area in the cart.
Worship
You
band
go.
from start to finish. Give this to a volunteer. Have him
There
or
you
her
go.
help you put this band together. Get kids involved in ministry. Everything you need right here. Brought to you by Simply Youth Ministry. All right, we're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.
It's got just enough youth ministry so that you don't feel guilty listening.